Okay, welcome to the Crestron Prodigy Composer training. This is the Prodigy Composer software is the wizard-based automated software for programming a standard Crestron Prodigy system. Now, when you first open Prodigy, the first screen you see here asks me which control processor I'm going to be using to create the system, PMC2 or a PMC2 Plus. The PMC2 is discontinued. Okay, the PMC2 Plus is the new system with the PMC2 processor and the TPX3 remote. So I'm going to select that and select Continue. Okay, now it's going to build the system and get me started. Now the next screen asks me if I want a multi-room audio distribution with an optional theater or a theater system using an AV receiver with an optional second audio zone. Okay, I would use the multi-room audio if I had a Crestron Prodigy P-Amp 4x100 multi-room audio distribution piece. I don't have that in my system. This is a simple family room theater system with a second zone of audio. So I'm going to select Theater System using AV Receiver and click Next. Then it asks me to name my system, and I'm going to name it Prodigy Training. I'm going to click Next. Okay, now it asks me what rooms do I want to include in my system. Notice there's already a room here that the text is in bold. Okay, this is the default room for the Prodigy system. It's assuming that this is the main room where the control system is going, as well as the main room where all the theater gear is located. Now I can rename this room by right-clicking and selecting Rename to something that more appropriately describes the room in the client's home. Now keep in mind, this name is going to appear on the remote, so I want it to be descriptive but short and sweet. Okay, now for my second zone, I want to add another room, so I go up to New Room Name, and I can either select a name from the drop-down menu, or I can manually type in a room name. And we're putting a pair of speakers on the patio, and we want that to be our Zone 2, so I'm going to type Patio and click Add to System. Now I have my second room. Okay, done adding rooms, so I'm going to click Next. And it asks me to choose my receiver device, what my AV receiver is. So I'm going to click Choose. And here you can see I have my library of receivers. Now the type is already grayed out because it knows it's looking for a receiver. I have two options, my Crestron database or my user database. The Crestron database is the library of modules that comes with the Prodigy software. As you create your own IR drivers, if I wanted to create my own IR driver, I'd click this and it would open the Crestron Learner software. Then you're going to start to fill up your user database with stuff you've created on your own. Okay, for this purposes, we're using a Denon AVR 3810, so I'm going to stick with the Crestron database because it's already in there. So I'm going to select from the available brands Denon, and then I'm going to find my receiver. Now there isn't a 3810 model exactly in here, but 3808 is close, and Denon rarely changes their command structure for IR and 232, so it's close enough. I know I've already tested this. I've already tested it, and the commands work, even though it's not the exact same model number. Now I want to control this Denon via RS-232. So I want to look for a 232 module. Now the difference here is you see the little red dot. The red dot indicates that it is an IR module, an infrared control module. I don't want that. I want RS-232, so I'm going to look for the little yellow squiggly. Squiggly next to the file name tells me that it is a RS-232 module. So I'm going to select the Denon AVR 3808 RS-232 module and click OK. It's going to take a minute to add that module to the program and automatically assign the commands. Okay, now that it's done that, it tells me that the description of the file name, the COM port that it's connected to on the back of the PMC2 processor, and as you can see, it's already assigned the patio as my second zone. It knows that because the family room was the default theater zone. It's also automatically assigned all the volume and power commands for the two different zones, family room and zone 2. Now if these commands were wrong for whatever reason, I could go through and select from all the commands that are available in this Denon module and assign the appropriate command. It's already done that for me, so I'm going to leave it be and click Next. Now it's asking me which display device am I using. So I'm going to click Choose. Again, I'm in my library. Select TV for the device type. and I'm going to scroll down and select my Sony TV. Now under the models, I have a few different models, but primarily I'm going to look for my Universal LCD and Plasma code set. Once I've selected that, I'm going to click OK. Okay, now it's assigned that to IR port 1. So when I connect my IR emitter from my TV to my PMC2 processor, it will go into port 1. Done with that, click Next. Now here, if I was doing a projector or if I had shades in the system, anything that responded to a dry contact relay closure, I could include a screen control or I could include lift control. You could do this by clicking there and choosing the type. Now here you would have to know a little bit about the type of device you're using, but if we had a screen that responded to just basic relay control, I could choose generic, relay controlled screen. I have a few different types. So again, I'd have to know what kind of relay commands the screen responded to. 2 low voltage relays, interlocked relays, 1 low voltage relay. Well, let's say this is a screen that responds to a single low voltage relay. I could select that. And here it asks me for a couple options. When the system powers on, send command. When the system powers off, send command. Now I know from reading the manual on the screen that this screen, when the relay is closed, the screen drops down. So when the system powers on, I want the screen to drop down, so I select relay close. When I want the screen to go up, then I want the relay to open. Okay? So that's how you would do that. Now we're not doing a screen, so I'm going to clear that out and click Next. Now that's the time limit for this video, so we will, this is the sources screen. We'll pick that up in part 2 of this training.